What's happening? What's happening, man? It's your boy Big Sauce. Welcome to the Concrete Genius Podcast, and I'm honored. I got y'all a special guest, man. 21-year MLB legend, Gary, Indiana legend. Stand up one time for the West Side of GI. Latroy Hawkins. Hawk, how you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm running around here representing the 219 player just like you, J Lock.
For real, for real,
For
for
sure.
real. First of all, I'm proud of you, man. Obviously, you got a big connection to today's game, considering that Godson is back in the I ain't gonna call it the Mahomes Invitational. I don't want to throw no bad vibes, but but he does get there a lot since he's got that star QB position. So how's the ankle doing?
You know what? When he told us the week of the AFC Championship game, it wasn't as bad as it was the first time he sprained it, I think in 2018. So we kind of knew then.
Mm-hmm.
He never gave us any insight, but once he said that, we kind of knew he was going to play and he was going to be close to himself. But he said 2 weeks to heal now. I hadn't seen him. We talk on text, but I can tell you this. The way he healed that 1 week, you can imagine what 2 weeks going to do for him. So I'm looking for him to be fine on all cylinders on today.
So look, as since you've been a veteran to supporting him to these things, these 2 weeks are pretty locked in. He don't even talk too much to family, maybe a quick text or something, right?
Yeah, we have a like last night when I heard he won the MVP. Well, was that Thursday night when I heard he won the MVP on our group text? I said, I'm just honored to be on a group text with a 2-time MVP, and he thanked me, his dad, and a couple of other buddies. And he will text. He's locked in though, but he will find time to say what's up or let us know like it's go time. I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely rooting for him. I've been saying for years the best QB in the league plays in Kansas City. Every year they try to find somebody to say who the best QB every preseason. I guess they need something to talk about. And then we get up to the AFC Championship, and it's the same thing. So this year was kind of special for me because he lost weapons. He had to play quarterback a little differently. You know what I mean? He sat in the pocket, and he worked with what he had, and he just grinded out another great season. So I'm definitely excited about the game.
Yeah, they did a good job.
What's the vibe like out there, AZ?
Well, let's go back to the team. Like, they did a good job, man. Like, everybody talk about Tyreek Hill, him losing, that weapon, but they don't understand what Andy Reid and Airbnb. They went out and found him some other weapons that people kind of like, they're gonna be enough.
Yeah.
Change the kind of dynamic of the offense just a little bit because as you can see from in that his last season in Kansas City with Tariq, those teams are playing deep, so there wasn't a lot of deep balls over their head. So everything had to be up under. So I think when Tariq was there, they had already started to change how they, how proficient their offense was going to work, and they went and got Juju Schuster, Marcus Scanlon Valdez, who's really good. They Sky Moore, so they've picked Kadarius Toney from New York. So they picked up some really good wide receivers. It's just not one guy doing it. It's not just Kelsey. They spreading the ball around equally, and that's how they've been able to get it done. And that's what's gonna get it done today if they can pull it out against a tough Eagles team.
Very tough. I'm gonna tell you another one I like too, and I'm glad you got me back on that. I really like the running back out of Rutgers.
Pacheco.
What's his name?
Pacheco.
Yeah.
Pacheco. And see,
he just fits.
5th round, 6th round. So that lets you know the Chiefs do a really good job, man, scouting their players and finding the right player for their right system. And I think that helps too. Clyde Hilaire is back for the Super Bowl. He's been hurt a lot this season, but he's active. So they're going to have a good 1-2 punch with him. And, Clyde is more of a bruiser. And then you have Pacheco, who is a speed guy, very shifty. If he can hit the edge, he's going to pick up a lot of yards. But it's going to be good. And Patrick loves him because, he's a rookie, learned the offense, know the blocking scheme, not afraid to block, not afraid to get his nose in there and protect the quarterback. So that's a plus when you can tell the rookies that do things that are, really into the books and get the whole, the concept, because those are the ones that play. And it all boils down. It's not catching the football. It's not running the football. A lot of times it has to do with them, understanding the blocking scheme and protecting the quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, even just battling through all adversities, that playing through that injury, through the AFC Championship, gutting it out. You know, you could tell the ankle was a little, you know, it wasn't 100%, but he still found a way to make it work.
You know, his dad always talk about, man, he's always said this, and even before Patrick, players make plays. And,
Yeah,
you know, on our group text, we was like, he's going to have to run at some point if they're going to win this game. And especially after Joe Burrow made that big, you know, he made a 3rd and 14 or some run for a first down. You know, Patrick's going to have to get out that pocket and get out his comfort zone with that ankle and make it happen. And he made it happen at the right time. And that's why we say players make plays. I mean, he understood
definitely
he was hurt.
Players make plays.
He knew his ankle was killing him. But he also knew that, you know, he had to get to a certain spot on that field. Once he got to that certain spot, you know, it was a good chance they weren't going to stop him from getting to that next spot where in field goal range. But they got a little help from, you know, one of the defensive linemen for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. And what was your thought? Because I'm watching the game and I'm like, okay, either we going Hail Mary here, he's going to get out, or we got another quick 12 yards. And dude just pushed him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's a tough way to lose it, but they go call that, buddy.
I was at my lowest low and then my highest high. And I kind of had the same feeling in the Super Bowl in Miami when they won it 3 years ago now. And when they called that play, when he threw that long bomb to Tyreek Hill, and it was like, man, what are we going to do? Like, time is not on their side. They need to get a lot of yards in a small amount of time. And that not the Hail Mary, but that play that Patrick went to the sideline and called, was like, hey, we need to run this. And he was like, do you think you got enough time? Because Bolson was killing him on the outside. And he was like, I think I got enough time. And, you know, they bought him just enough. Like, Bosa was like a split second from getting to him, but he was able to get the pass off, and Tyreek made the catch. But that was a high, that was a low, and then a high. That's how it was with the AFC Championship game.
Wow.
And I'm mostly tied into it, man. When I'm watching, like, you know, he's been to 5 straight AFC Championship game. I've never been to an AFC Championship game. I sell my tickets. I was like, I don't want to watch it. I'd much rather watch it in the conference in my home, just in case if I need to shed a tear. Nobody else got to see me.
So how animated is you as God Pops, man? How animated are you when he's playing?
TV. And I never wear his jersey at home. Like, I never wear it at home. I'm wearing it today because it's game day. But I usually have on something Chiefs, whether my hat or I got a Kelsey jersey I wear. And I'm standing in front of the TV, man. I'm pacing back and forth. And, you know, because I tell you, man, I enjoyed football, but I really wasn't a big football fan. Like, knowing somebody, you know, that makes me a fan. Like, we talk about NBA, like, I'm not an NBA fan. And that's just me. Like, and I grew up hoops, but it's not me. Like, now, if I know somebody, like, I check and see what Darius Garland did every night. I will. Or in the morning, I'll check and see what he did because, you know, he got them 219 roots. You know, college, you know, I check and see how junior, I check and all the kids that I know, I'll check and see. My niece at Duke, I check and see how they did. But, man, I just some things.
Yeah. Well, he's got a flair for the dramatic now. These Eagles, you know, them boys ain't coming to play, and I want to make sure, like I told you before we started, I don't want to get them boys no bulletin boy material. You know what I mean? So we respect the opponent, but I do think his leadership and his ability, he's been back so much. He showed people the past few years he can manage a game beyond just his spectacular talents. You know what I mean?
And I think that comes from every year getting better at your craft. The Pat Mahomes we see this year, not the same one we saw in 2020 or 2021. Every year he's been able to evolve and become better at something else that he wasn't as good at. And a lot of times the average fan doesn't know what he's not good at because he does so many spectacular things. But footwork, arm angle, getting the ball out on time. And I think for him is the main one is recognizing what the defense is trying to do because they're disguising stuff. And, you know, He put up 23 points against Cincinnati, whatever Cincinnati was doing. The NBA, NFL is a copycat league. Philly's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do that. They probably disguise it in some way, a different way. But, that's like the transformation of an NFL quarterback. And just like Jalen Hurts, his first year was just, second year got better. This year, man, Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl. So you can see his progression as an NFL quarterback. He's learning new nuances of the game. He's seeing things. They get to the point where there's nothing that there's not many things a defense can do to them to trick them, to fool them, to put them in a bad, predicament, making a tough pass, a tough throw, trying to put the ball in a window. They've seen it all, so they can process it and they recognize it. And I think that's the key with these young quarterbacks, like their progression. You got Josh Allen and you got Joe Burrows, man. Those guys steady getting better each year because they're starting to understand, and teams are throwing everything out of them. And those guys, I guarantee, and I know they have photographic memories, J-Law. Like, they don't forget.
Yeah.
They do not forget.
Mm. Yeah, that's good. That's good energy. Now, before I go on, I want to ask you, how motivated, because I saw your video, how motivated was the team by that Burrowhead incident and the Cincinnati mayor?
You know what? Patrick unfazed. Like, how you guys see him on TV, that's how he is in real life. Like, he's just like this. He was like that in growing up, even in high school, man. Patrick averaged 27 points a game in basketball in the state of Texas. And he didn't do all that AAU stuff. Like, he went from football to basketball to baseball. And just like playing against some of the best players in Texas, they talking trash because he got the bullseye on his back because of his name and what he's done. And Patrick, he doesn't get into all that back and forth, J-Law. It's like, hey man, at the end of the fourth quarter, it's like, look at the scoreboard. It's like I got 27 and you didn't even know I had it. Like, just things like that. But for me and his dad, I took it personal because that Cincinnati mayor, whatever his name is, we can't even say his name. He had every opportunity to stay out of it or continue with the long tradition of, let's bet a steak dinner. Let's bet some Skyline chili or something, or a Kansas City steak. But he want to get personal. I'm like, who's your daddy, Burrowhead, and all that. So, I let Patrick handle that off the field. But when you have somebody that's not connected to sports get in it, then you see his dad got in it, and I had to add my 2 cents. But come on, man. Keep it clean.
Hey, look, man. Big Pat went on there and said we smoking on that Burrow Pat.
We smoking on them Joe Burrows. We smoking on them Joe Burrows.
Hey, Miss Mahomes didn't take too kindly of that mess either.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Brittney don't mess around. Brittney, man, I look like she's been knowing her since she was a freshman in high school. Man, like, she's like the protector of the family. She's like the flock. Like, she don't come for her. I don't care how you think about them, what they do that you don't like. No, Brittney, she down for it. Like, don't come at us.
Yeah.
We figuring out life and having fun just like the rest of y'all. Don't come at us.
Yeah.
Don't do that because we do clap back sometime. And I got none but the utmost respect for Britt because she ain't with that BS.
Me too.
She ain't with that BS. Nope. And she's comfortable in her own skin. That's the thing. That's when people don't like that too. They don't like that she's comfortable in her own skin. And she living life to the fullest. She got 2 kids now. She a whole mom, dog, and a whole wife. Yeah. And she got a master's degree in kinesiology, so she's a fitness. She was a big time soccer player. She played professionally. Now she's part owner of the soccer team in Kansas City. She does a lot, but she likes social media, and she has that right to like social media. She has the right, and that's why when you clap at her, she'll clap back, and I like it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. I mean, especially knowing that her husband is in a position where he has to take shots, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because if he responds to somebody, he's going to make somebody famous. So she's like, okay, you want to be famous? I'm going to make you famous. You know what I'm saying?
She ain't with that. Yeah, she ain't with the BS, man. Britt is down for it.
Yeah.
She want all the smoke, and that's good because some people come at you, they know nothing. They don't know anything. They don't know anything. They come at you because they put these expectations on you, how you supposed to act. Motherfucker, you only worry about yourself, man. You don't worry about everybody else. You worry about how you act.
Yeah.
Don't worry about how I act.
Yeah.
We don't get down like that.
Yeah. Just let her live, man. So how do y'all get this dub Sunday?
Well,
What's
you
the
say
keys
y'all,
to the game?
The Chiefs. I can't take none of that juice now. They're gonna have to protect Patrick. They definitely got to protect him because that defensive line of the of Philly is they're coming after him. They're coming to get him. They just got to protect him. If they give him time, it's going to be problems. They're gonna do well on offense. Defensively, the Chiefs got a hard battle because they're gonna have to keep Jalen Hurts contained because he likes to get out and get to the edges, and he's an incredible athlete, and he can throw on the run. That causes problems, man, because once the play breakdown, just like Patrick, you have to start covering your man for 7, 8, 9 seconds, and it's impossible. You're going to end up losing. So I think it's going to come down to who gets the most turnovers, what defense can get the ball, interception, fumbles, and capitalizing off each other's mistakes. But I'm rolling with KC all the way. I think it's great that we got 2 African American quarterbacks starting in the Super Bowl. I'm glad my guy Patrick is, part of that. Jalen Hurts, you always hear this stuff about black dads not present. They don't know about the John Loudons, the Mr. Hurst, the Pat Mahomes seniors. They don't know about them, and the world is starting to hear about that. So, I don't have a son that was in the spot like that. I have a son that I was in his life, my daughter, but that needs to be recognized a little bit more because people talk about their parents is on a single parent home. That's not true.
Nah.
There's a lot of two parent homes in the Black community. It's a lot, and it needs to be spotlighted a lot more and not looked at as they trying to control this, they trying to control that. No, we're doing the same thing that other people do, protecting ours.
Yeah.
From you vultures.
Hey man. Yeah, from the vultures.
From the vultures.
And they definitely out here. And they definitely hate it when you got an opinion. So when you black and you got an opinion, they call you rebellious and disruptive. You can be articulate, you can be a family man, husband, homeowner, community activist, but when your opinion doesn't make people feel comfortable, they're gonna call you rebellious.
Exactly.
So I appreciate you lumping me with those other great men. And it's like, for me to see 2, because I remember I was a little kid, I was mad that Warren Moon had to go to Canada. I'm that old. You know what I mean? So
man, I didn't watch football back then, but I know Warren. I've met him a couple times because, Patrick's agent, Lee Steinberg, represented him. So, but, just reading about it, and since I've been an adult, it's like, that just blows my mind, man. Like, it's the country we live in, and that's how that's a whole nother episode.
Whole nother episode. So even just to go from like the celebration of Doug Williams, you know what I mean? So now just to see this, and it's 2 young men who doing it right, carry themselves exemplary off the field. So it's an honor. I think for me, the keys are, like you said, turnovers. And the key is like red zone. I got the Chiefs winning, but I think who can field goals and touchdowns. You know what I mean? Who can get touchdowns, who can cash in. I think Kelsey is an X factor because he's uncomfortable. You can't cover him as a tight end. But the key for the Chiefs, like you said to me, you nailed it, is just containment. If you let Hurts convert some of them 3rd and 16s, them chunk plays, it's going to be a long day. You know what I mean? You got to make them.
Look, you better be converting them yourself if you're going to give them up to him. You're right.
Right.
It's going to be a good game.
Right, because he reminds me of Pat because of the hunger that he plays with. So this is a good game where it's just 2 determined competitors that you can really enjoy the game.
But they both have that similar kind of background where they were doubted. Like, even though Jalen Hurts went to Alabama, number 1 team, won that championship, but there was always that doubt in his game about his throwing. And then he, not lost his job. They gave his job to Tua. He stayed, and then he left to go to Oklahoma. And then when he went to a throwing coach, whatever happened with Jalen, And then Patrick going to Texas Tech. Nobody respected the Big 12 quarterbacks, the West Coast style play. And, they both have their struggles in the NFL, like coming in, all the doubters. And they proved everybody wrong. And at the end of the day, it's all right here and right here.
Yeah.
And they both have that. And good support.
Yeah.
Good support.
Yeah.
Good family, good foundation.
Great young man.
So the media don't make you, they can't break you. If the media don't make you, they can't break you. They can't break you.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good message for all athletes in the spotlight, college or whatever. Like, don't let these people control your narrative. Turn off the noise, turn off Twitter, turn off all that, and just focus. Pray, stay disciplined and focus.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a great point.
About, Stephen A. dubbing him a bust, like putting that name attaching that name to his, and how that does more damage than anything. When you're trying to get, when you go back into the inner city and help your people, and the young kids who are influenced by the media, oh, he a bust. No, homie, he ain't no bust. That man played 12, 13 years in the NBA.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Change the trajectory of his family.
The whole trajectory. Like, come on. But they don't see that. Like, I understand, like, being a professional athlete is not an easy thing, man. And then doing it for a long time, people have to understand. Like, everybody can't be a Hall of Famer. If every player that played in the game was a Hall of Famer, the game wouldn't be no fun because we wouldn't have no fans. We wouldn't have no fans in no sport.
Right.
You got those that are elite, and you shit. But all elite guys, they got to play with some middle of the road guys. Got to.
Yeah.
They can't play by themselves. But I don't think people get that, man. But it's gonna be a special Sunday. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, man. My prediction is 31-21 Chiefs. I think it's gonna be a great game, but I think Philly's gonna run into some stall drives where it's just kind of like either they get a touchdown or they get nothing. They probably go for it on fourth down. So I got the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs can score 31. That's my magic number. I'm going
31-27. I think it's going to be a little closer just because they match up so evenly in so many different, spots on the field.
Yeah.
They're and injuries too, man. Another thing about the AFC Championship game, J. Loud, Patrick lost Kadarius Toney, Juju Schuster-Smith, and McCole Hartman, three of his starting wide receivers. He was out there with three backups and Kelsey.
Yeah.
Three backups. Well, one starter, Marquez, but the other three, and Travis Kelsey. It was tough. And for them to win that game, that was oof.
So are any of those guys back?
McCole Hartman's the only one. Juju Schuster going to play. Kadarius Toney's going to play. So the only one's not playing is McCole Hartman.
I love Juju too, man. There's something about his personality. Yeah. He just got that tough Gary kind of.
He does.
You know what I mean? He could be he like a tight end wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He just got that toughness to him.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of brings the edge to it.
Yeah.
Tell me about the events. Anything you got going out there in Arizona?
Today we're headed to the Waste Management golf tournament, big golf tournament where it's not the traditional golf tournament where everybody's quiet. Here they're partying, having a good time. They got a grandstand on the 16th hole. They said there's going to be a couple 100,000 people out there today. So we're going to that. And then we headed to the Adidas party. It's a day party it starts from 12 to 7. Big ups to Adidas. And then tomorrow we go to Lee Steinberg's, Patrick's agent's, his 37th Super Bowl party. So he's been doing it 37 straight years. And that's a big party. It's a day party, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We give out awards and food, drink, networking. Everybody's going to be on the list. They say I'm looking forward to meeting Denzel and Vivica Fox. So we'll see.
Yeah. That's going to be dope, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be dope. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. So let me ask you, man. I know we got MLB coming up, but I want to talk about what you got going with Rob Parker.
Yeah, man. I met Rob a few years ago when I was still an active player, and when you meet them brothers, it's like kind of like, damn. I like this ninja cool, man. He like me. And, over the years, formed a relationship. And a couple of years ago, he came up with this seeing how our athletes are underrepresented in the game, especially the game of baseball. And he came up with this company called MLB Bro. So we're gonna cover black and brown players only. So everything is about our people, our black players that are playing Major League Baseball, minor league baseball. Some are retired guys, our legends, and it's probably got about 45, 50 employees around the country, guys and women that are covering MLB games, teams, and they give a report. And the last 2 years has gotten better, but this year we've throwing it out there. There's going to be a lot more content. So if you get a chance, it's MLBBros.com on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and go and follow because we're going to be talking about some of the people that don't get talked about. Some of those black players that you didn't know that was in the league that don't get all the attention, like the Mookie Betts. Mookie's a superstar. That's our guy, man. But there's other players that we want to spotlight that are making an impact in our community by being on TV and showing that our little black kids that hey, there's somebody out there that looks like you, and telling them too. I always tell this, like, I love basketball growing up, liked football, but there's other sports out there. There are other sports.
Right.
There are other sports, and baseball is one of them. And is it a difficult sport? Well, hell, they all are difficult. When you're in it and you got to practice and get good at something, it is no different than getting good at adding, subtracting, multiplying, division, and all that algebra, geometry, calculus. All that stuff is difficult, but you continue to work on it so you get better. And I just like encouraging kids, man. Like there's another sport out there besides basketball and football. Baseball is an incredible game. It's a thinking man's game, and I tell people all the time, like, I didn't play with a lot of people that look like me. I tell you what, I got paid like those people that didn't look like me.
And them checks came the same. And
They sure did.
It just takes discipline, repetition. And I'm always a big advocate of young man playing baseball. I know you did a lot, in Chicago with a lot of young men, a lot of little league teams. I know you've always active, being a big advocate of that. And I just think we need to get the message out to young men. I think what you guys are doing with the MLB Bros is spectacular because we can highlight some guys I grew up loving, like a Harold Baines or something. You get those kind of guys, man, like Rudy Law. You get those kind of guys. Like, come on, man. Like these were my heroes, but it's like as soon as they stop playing, you got to Wikipedia the story. You don't know about them. So if I can get a forum where you guys are interviewing those type of guys, man, it's all you can be. So we definitely up next, man. I appreciate you. I know you guys got a lot going on. You got to get out to this event.
And again, man, like the last time I was on, we talked about giving out flowers, man. We got to give you yours, player. And I love what you're doing, man. I love it, man. The information that you give, like, it is so, like, it's so real. And in this day and age, when people talk about they want something that's authentic, people come check out the Concrete Genius. It's as authentic as it get. There's no fluff to it. There's no fluff to it. And you're talking about real issues, like real things, and you're making a difference in your community. That don't get, like, coaching girls basketball, bro. Coaching girls basketball out there impacting lives. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, impacting lives. You're wasting your time on earth if you're not impacting somebody else's life in a positive way. So you ain't wasting your time, dog. Stay busy, dog.
Thank you,
Stay
man.
busy, dog. Stay busy.
You. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Now you turn up in that golf and you tell my boy, I said what's happening, and I'm gonna get him on here soon, man.
All right, player.
All right.
Be easy.
I love you guys. I'll talk
man.
to you soon. All right, peace.